Good morning. Happy World Card Making Day. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in mid-Missouri, and today I'm part of the Amy's Ink and Crew World Card Making Day event. And thank you so much for accepting my videoed demonstration. I've had plans that popped up after I committed, so I didn't want to miss it, but I wanted to go ahead and get something done for you guys. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a double easel card using the Merriest tree bundle alongside the Traditions of St. Nick DSP. Traditions of St. Nick DSP is an online exclusive, and it is by far one of my favorite Christmas papers of this year. It is absolutely stunning. I love that you can cut the St. Nick's out with the dies from the coordinating stamp set and die set. I love the colors. I love the old gold in there. You know, wild wheat is perfect for an old vintage gold. So I definitely use that color. I brought in the cherry cobbler and different greens, the old olives, mossy meadow, all of it's those traditional vintage Christmas colors that I absolutely love. So here is today's card. I'm going to show you the top so you're going to see how much dimension we're putting in that card today. It is absolutely popping out. So this is going to be lovely on a mantle. This is going to be lovely on someone's kitchen cabinet, just to let them enjoy that Christmas season. So you may be wondering, ooh, that is a thick card. That's lots of dimensionals. Can you get it in an envelope? You can. It is definitely a tight fit. It is definitely one that's going to require extra postage, but it does fit into that envelope really nicely. So you can mail these or send these out. This is definitely one of them that you're going to do for someone special. So let's get started with the dimensions of paper. All of these dimensions are available today on my blog, and that's at www.tarabethstamps.blogspot.com. So I'll include that in the post today as well. So all these dimensions are going to be on my blog, so don't worry about jotting them down. What we start out with is we're starting out with a piece of cherry cobbler. It looks like we've got a mark on that. A piece of cherry cobbler. This is a 4 1/4 by 11 sheet. We have a piece of wild wheat. This is 4 1/8 by 9 3/4. We have another piece of wild wheat. This is going on the inside, and this is measuring 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is a piece of old olive measuring 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So that's just half of that cardstock sheet. We have another piece of cherry cobbler measuring 4 2 1/8. We have a little strip of cherry cobbler that's measuring 3/4 by 3. We have a piece of basic white measuring at 4 by 5 1/4. We have a piece of the DSP, and I used the stockings in the first one, and this one I'm using the kind of vintage Christmas candies and mugs. And that DSP is measured at 4 by 5 1/8. I have the green DSP that measures at 3 7/8 by 2 1/4. And then I also have, this is not the right one, but I have another piece, here it is, of 6 by 2 1/4 for my envelope. So that's our measurements. I also have some of the distressed gold that we're going to use. And I also need to get some gold foil. So let's get to it. We're going to start out by scoring. I will be right back in a second. Okay, we have the Simply Score tool. So when I'm doing my fun folds, this is the tool that I use almost all the time. Your paper trimmer can do the scoring, and that's great. It's very handy, but if you have the chance to get this Simply Score tool, I do recommend it. I absolutely love it. It gives really deep, beautiful score lines, and your cards will look amazing by scoring them. So this piece of 4 1/4 by 11 cherry cobbler, we're scoring at that normal 5 1/2. And you can see just how very deep that scoring is. So we're going to do that. Now we have that piece of 4 1/8 by 9 3/4, and we are going to score at 2 1/4 and 4.5. I don't like that being there. Yeah, I like to be able to see my marks. All right, so this is our card base. So what you can do is you can use anything that you have. This is basically just a great way to learn these fun folds, is to watch these videos. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half, and I'm going to burnish it really well because those deep creases help this card stand up. Then I'm going to fold this back. So this is what we call a mountain valley mountain fold. So you can see here's your mountain, here's your valley, and then it goes up to your mountain. So when I say mountain, valley, mountain, that's what I'm saying, I'm meaning. Now we're going to fold our cherry cobbler. I'm going to make sure that I've got a nice, good edge there. And we'll burnish it down. And here's our card base. So as I said, this is how you make your double easel card. You can see you've got your nice little edges right there. And it's going to be same at the bottom and same at the top. So we can go ahead and adhere that to the card base and get it started. Now I do use quite a bit of seal when I'm doing this onto the card base like this. I don't always use 4 corners or all 4 directions, but on a fun fold card, I'm going to do that on all 4 directions. Or I'm going to use tear tape because that's a little more secure. So now I've got my DSP that I'm just going to adhere to this back panel. And you'll see I've only got 2 lines of adhesive. That's what I was talking about. And I'm just going to line that up, making sure that I've got a nice edge on all of those and seal it down. So for this bottom portion, I've got the cherry cobbler and the mossy meadow piece that we're going to add in here. And I'm just going to line that up, making sure that I've got a nice little edge on each end. Seal that down, and then we'll put this on your card base. So fun folds can be a little intimidating, but if you've got your measurements and you follow it step by step, they're really very easy and so classy. So here's our card base. So you can do this card base using anything. So I've got a couple of more examples I'll show you tonight. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna grab. All right, I've grabbed all my stamping supplies, and we're gonna go ahead and stamp the inside. And what I've done is I've taken a sentiment from the Brightest Glow set. This is in the annual catalog. It's a carryover from last year's holiday catalog. This is my go-to greeting stamp set. This is a fabulous set. It is worth its weight in gold because you can do so many things with it. The fonts are lovely. It's perfect. So I'm using the Hope Your Christmas Shines Brightly with the family and friends. And what I've done is I've just lined that up on my block, eyeballing it to see if I have it straight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this on my grid paper just to see how straight I have it. All right, now I'm going to line my paper up with my grid paper, and I'm going to give that a nice clean stamp with Old Olive ink. Okay, next I have just a pine bough leaf from the Christmas Classics set, and I'm going to take that and ink that up with Old Olive as well. Just do a couple on the corner, and then we're going to just do a small one up here in this corner. This is what adds so much to your cards, is when you can have those beautiful insides that just give a little bit more. We're going to add some Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to add this to the Wild Wheat. So I think this is truly an old gold color. I think it's absolutely perfect for Christmas. Our school colors are purple and gold, and I think this is perfect to go with that. All right, so we're going to add this to the inside, and now we're going to go ahead and get ready to build the outside. So the card base is truly done. So what I have is I have a sheet of the piece of Old Olive, it measuring 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to take this stamp right here, and add this to my large block. I'm going to bring out my ink, and I'm going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp this 4 times. Ink it up really good. With a big stamp like that, I like to stamp, like add my ink to my stamp. There's definitely multiple ways you can do this. There's no right or wrong. When you're doing it, it's whatever you're comfortable with. But in a large stamp like this, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this upside down. This is so I can get 4 trees on this one sheet of DSP or cardstock. So we'll just, I'm not doing the solid tree because I'm using just the DSP, or not DSP, the cardstock to give it that green color. But that does make a beautiful tree as well. All right, I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna go die cut these real quick. Well, first I'll show you how I'm gonna die cut them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one with the large one. I'm gonna do one with the second largest one. And so you'll see I'm just lining it up at the top. I'm gonna do a small one, and then we're gonna do the medium one. Did I do 1, 2, 3, 4? I did 5. So I'll stamp another one real quick down in this corner for this bottom one as well. So give me one second. So here we have all of our die cuts for our tree. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab some black dimensionals. So the reason that I'm using black is because this is a pretty dark color, and I think it will look a little better from the back. So I'm just using some of these little mini guys, and I'm starting with the second largest die cut, and I'm pulling these off, and they're wanting to stay on. And so we're just gonna layer this tree one section at a time. So you just wanna line it up as good as you can, and then stick it down. So now we've got the next size up right in the middle. And we're gonna put a couple of dimensionals just on these corners here. The other reason I like to use these black ones when I'm videoing is because I can actually see the thing. So I've seen where some demonstrators color the back of theirs. All right, line that up, stick it down. Now we'll go to the third layer, or the second smallest one. And you can tell it doesn't take very many dimensionals at all as you're going up each layer. And then we're gonna line this up, eyeballing it as well as we can. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, this is a handmade card. So perfection is not something that you're striving for. Yes, it's always nice when it's perfect, but it shows the love that you put behind it when it's not perfect. So I had someone reach out to me earlier this week about how she loved my cards, but she just didn't have the confidence to give it to hers to her family. Never do that. If you're creating, give it. Your family will love it. Your friends will love it. Give those away. Give those cards away. All right, so now I'm just gonna take some Stampin' Seal. I have a piece of brushed gold metallic foil, and I'm gonna add it right here on this card base. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do about 2 strips of seal pretty close together, because this is gonna be tough. And we kind of want to put it down a little bit because we want it to have as much grip on that as possible. Otherwise, because of all of the layers, it's going to be top heavy and it will fall. But look, that's working perfect. Now, what I should have done before I did that was grab my adhesive sheets. Adhesive sheets are something that I use quite frequently as well. And I'm going to have to pause because I can't find my distressed gold. So Hold on. All right, adhesive sheets. These are awesome. If you've not tried these, you need to. So these come in sheets of 6 by 12. You get 12 in each one, and this pack lasts me forever. So what I'm going to do, you can either use your paper trimmer or you can just go at it quick and do it a little cut at a time. I usually try to do it just, and I got too big. So we'll trim that down a little bit. Put that back in here so it's available when I need it. Set that to the side. All right, so this is about how much I need. So I'm going to go ahead and trim about that much off. So you want it to be a little bit smaller than what you're adhering it to. Otherwise, it's going to stick out. It'll stick to your machines and stuff. So you peel it away. This is sticky. So I'm just going to put it right along that edge. And then I'm going to use this little side. And you can see it's got a little bit of a grip. And I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to bring out my mini machine. This is my next big love. This is my Stampin' Cut mini embossing machine. This is one of my next favorite tools. I'm just using everything that I love today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up so you guys can see it. And so this is a really close fit, but I think it's going to work. So the key to die cutting with this machine is holding your plates down. So I use my thumb to kind of hold those plates in the very beginning. So what you're going to see is some gorgeous, there they are. They're stuck in there. So that's perfect. Set that machine out of the way. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add these reams of gold to each tree branch. So I'm going to poke that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a little bit of a starter because I've got to peel that backing off. Now this part can be a little tedious. I won't lie to you. So I usually use a take your pick tool or some sort of sharp device. That piece may not have any on it because I cut it so narrow. All right, we're gonna go with the next big piece and we'll see what we can do with that. All right, maybe we'll start at the bottom because this one's begging to come up. If I hold my mouth just right. There we go. It's peeling away here. All right, so we'll wheel that off. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna angle that below and seal that down. And see now that it's stuck. So now we'll go with the next size up. There we go. All right, so it just peels right off. We're just gonna seal that down in the corner, kind of angle that up underneath there. We're gonna do this again. Here we go. So we definitely want to make sure that we're angling it so that it looks like it's looping and swooping. See if we can find the edge there. There we go. Turn it around so it'll line right up there. Ooh, that's a little too much. Let's go that way. There we go. Now I think I'm going to have to glue this one, and you're going to see why I use the adhesive sheets here. because this is so small and I get a little heavy-handed with the glue. I don't know if any of you are like that, but I really do. I get a little heavy-handed. So we're gonna just kind of do a little dollop there and then turn that around and seal it right on up. There we go. So here's what our tree looks like. So once that dries, that'll look fine. So here we go. Now I have a Happy Holidays that I've already die cut and embossed. We're gonna add that on there, and I'm gonna use my black dimensionals again. So we're gonna add some black dimensionals. And you guys, I feel like we're done because we already did the inside. So the thing is, I threw a lot of products out here. Here we go, gold embossing. And the sentiment die, the sending dies is where I got this little die cut. So there's your gorgeous card right here. Beautiful for a mantle. Let's make our envelope because we don't want to send an ugly little envelope in the mail. We want them to know from the very beginning that this is going to be gorgeous. So we're going to just stamp a couple of those pine boughs in the corner. Set that out of the way. Then we're going to add a little bit of adhesive. This is when I do use the liquid adhesive. Obviously, you can use any adhesive that you want to, whatever you're the most comfortable with, but I use mainly Seal. We'll do this and give this a nice cut. So I hope you stick around for all of today's beautiful demonstrations. I can't wait. I'll be watching from afar. Don't tell my son. But this is what we have. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. If you've got any questions, put it in the Facebook and I'll grab it as quick as I can. Thanks so much.